Three-match series locked at one apiece after two. The third and final that decided to be played in Indore in about half an hour from now. But lots of pollution outside, lots of traffic as well. So instead of indoor, we decided to stay indoor. That's my first bad joke for the day. Things will get better because you will see two very gentle, soft-spoken, wise heads, both of them from Mumbai for a change. We've got three Mumbaikars on Cricbuzz Live for the first time together, Mr. Rahane and Mr. Khan. Did you pay your respects to your senior player, Mr. Rahane?
I did. Good to see you, Zach bhai.
Pleasure, Ajinkya. This is definitely a new innings for you. How are you enjoying?
I'm really enjoying it. My first day, first game was amazing. Learning, lots to learn, but yes, I'm really enjoying it.
Enjoy, be free.
I can promise you this was not a stage conversation. But I believe Mr. Rahane did meet a very imposing looking figure in an elevator about 15 years ago, was it? And what happened on that day?
Long time back, 15. I was under 14 actually, playing in Baroda, and Zach bhai was there. I guess he was playing for Baroda that time. First class cricket. He was available, and we were going down for the practice session. And I saw him, and I was stunned. One thing people probably don't know that he comes from Srirampur and I come from Sangamner, so it's in Maharashtra. Really, like 15-20 minutes max, half an hour distance. So no, that's what I told him, that I know you're from Srirampur and I'm from Sangamner, and he started laughing. And no, for me, I was very shy that time. But again, one thing I remember, I told him that one day I would like to play with you, which I did. And yeah, now sitting together on a different platform.
First impressions of this man? Is he seriously like this, very soft-spoken, or is there a naughtier side to him that you've seen? Because I haven't seen that side yet.
I think always serious. I know him as a serious, very hardcore cricket guy. You know, that sums him up well, I guess. 2009, I think, IPL.
Yes.
In South Africa, he was part of MI, and I remember him being a very keen learner. Like, you know, he's a very intense guy, but, you know, someone who wants to always add to his game. He was not afraid of coming and asking questions to senior players, you know, trying to figure out, okay, what is it going to take for him to play at the highest level. And he was very impressive right throughout that campaign.
And even he didn't shy away from asking you questions, right? There's one story about that IPL 100. What was that?
Oh yeah, 2013. He was playing for RCB. I was with Rajasthan Royals that time. I remember first 2 or 3 balls, those dot balls, and he came up to me and said something in Marathi. Marnar kadhi, means, you know, when will you hit now? So yeah, that banter, and he was smiling at me. It was a friendly banter. I remember it, but it was good. It was funny.
Lovely. We'll have many more of these stories coming out of the treasure of these two absolute stalwarts of Mumbai and India cricket. Back to the third ODI. India have won the toss, and they've chosen to chase on what is a very, very small ground, short boundaries, a pitch that is full of runs, considered a batting paradise. But we have to talk about what New Zealand have done so far, Ajinkya. One expected India to steamroll this side, this depleted squad, 3-0, but it hasn't happened. They won the second one. They pushed India in the first ODI as well, scoring 300 plus runs. What have you made of what this team has done here?
I'm surprised, what they have done here in India. But as I said last time during first ODI, that New Zealand always comes up with the plan. They like to plan really well before they tour anywhere. So I think, I'm sure they have planned really well for this for the series, but they don't pay that much of attention for the bilateral series because they think in a long-term point of view. 2027 World Cup is coming. They want to groom their players. But personally, I'm really surprised how well they have played. Even first ODI, they come really close to win that game. Yeah, so yeah, really surprised the kind of cricket they have played so far, and I'm sure they are looking forward to this ODI and trying to create history.
They've never won an ODI series in India. They are on the verge of doing so. The third and final ODI to be played in just a bit. India have won the toss and chosen to bowl first, but no changes in that New Zealand lineup. And as expected, Zach, why change what's working? They seem to have found that combination with their spinners, in fact, outbowling the Indians in that last game.
Yeah, I think one change which they made in the series, how they started it, Lennox coming in place of Aditya. was a good call because we did touch upon the fact that Lennox is going to give them that control with the ball. Leg spinner at times struggles to find that control. The inexperience of Aditya was also being put under pressure by the quality Indian batters. So I think this was a good change. After winning the last one, they would like to just approach the decider in the same fashion.
Maybe they've answered a few questions that they wanted to going forward with that big ODI World Cup coming up. They've looked at other options as well, and so far it's not been a backdoor at all for the Kiwis. Remember, they won that Test series, which cost perhaps India the WTC final spot, but that's a story for another day. India have finally made a change that most Indians are hoping for. Arshdeep Singh, Ajinkya finally gets a game in, and out goes Prasidh Krishna. No surprise. This shouldn't surprise anyone, right?
Not at all. I'm really happy to see Arshdeep Singh back in the ODI squad. I've always been talking about, he's a guy who can pick you those wickets with the new ball, swing the ball both ways, has the ability to come in the middle over, and also the death options which he has. Those Yorkers, slower balls. At times he can bluff the batter as well. He'll set up a different field and bluff the batter. So I think Arshdeep overall, I feel left arm angle as well. When Zaheer Khan used to play left-hand angle, we all know that how important it is. So Arshdeep, I'm really happy to see the way his records obviously are really good. Unfortunately, he didn't play consistently in ODI and also in T20 format, but whenever he has played, he has done well for the team.
Here's a Cricbuzz special stat alert for you guys and girls. Since that last T20 World Cup, Arshdeep Singh has played 8 out of 90 T20 internationals, and only 20 out of the 36 ODIs India has played. One tends to say, oh, India is experimenting and therefore he gets left out. But from a player's perspective, he, I suppose, would be justified in saying, why should I always bear the brunt of India experimenting? Have you been surprised at the amount of cricket he's played?
Well, his graph we often speak about, he's someone who's been getting those opportunities. Because of that, he's developed into a fine bowler. And when someone is in that process and not really wanting a break from playing some cricket, or workload management is not an issue, then I think the only way to keep getting better is by playing more games.
Yeah.
So I would much rather keep him playing as many games as possible, rather than having this in and out, as long as through that process the communication which is required is taken care. If the player is thinking at that stage, why am I being left out, am I doing anything wrong, is something I need to do differently. Once that doubt is crept in, then at times you've seen certain players find it hard to deal with that kind of a situation. They suddenly try to move away from their natural instinct. They suddenly try and move away from the processes. For example, if someone is saying that, Arshdeep, I think you need to add a bit more pace. So suddenly from whatever he's been doing well, which is focusing on the swing, focusing on the variation situations of the game, suddenly he's thinking that, okay, for me to be part of this 11, I have to be adding that extra yard of pace. So your process changes. So if something has been working for some individual, if the clarity is there and it's given, then it's managed well. With Arshdeep, we have to wait and see, how and exactly what the situation is. But when you're looking at the big World Cup, include the variation, the left arm angle, the variations, the situations, what he's been playing a role, I think, he should be integral part of this playing 11.
He seems like a chirpy character, is always laughing around, mucking around on Instagram, which is great to see. I'm sure it's tough for any player to be left out. And while we only know the decisions that the team management is taking, we're really hoping that there is that conversation with him behind the scenes to keep him on track.
I hope so. There's a conversation going on between him and the management that why you are not playing or why you playing this particular game. But as he said about Arshdeep is the guy who'll get better while playing matches. He needs that rhythm, and when he gets that rhythm, I feel he's really dangerous. So I think giving him that matches continuously, consistently is really important from Indian team point of view. As I said, he brings a different perspective, a different angle, swing, seam movement. If there is a wicket, it's helpful for the fast bowlers, and also the slower ball options which he bowls in the end.
There's another player in the Indian squad that needs to be spoken to, and I hope he is, because this quote from the assistant coach, Doeschate, was a bit surprising. Make what you want of it, Zach, but this is what he said about Nitish Kumar Reddy. Take a look at that headline. Doesn't do a heck of a lot. When you do get him a game time, he often ends up not doing a heck of a lot in the games. You really have to take those chances to push your case to be selected. Now, that's what the coach was quoted saying. In that last game, he was given only 2 overs. So, what does one make of this statement from Doeschate?
Well, I think if you are Nitish Reddy, right now you must be feeling that you have to do that extra bit. A senior player taking more responsibility or adapting himself to playing a different role is still okay, because you've seen different situations, different scenarios, and then you are approaching the game in that fashion. Someone who is not played that much. From a team management's point of view, you got to give them enough confidence and give them that cushion where they are going to have the best possible scenario to express themselves, to cement their place. I think, it's just asking too much of Nitish Reddy at this stage if this is the case. It's still early days for him, so it's about creating that environment of security and saying that, okay, you got the potential. We want you expressing yourself freely and cement your place in this fashion. So, so then you create a situation. You give those ample amount of opportunities for him to, even if he has to fail, that's fine.
Yeah.
But give that chance of comfort. If not, it just, again, it's a similar kind of a scenario, where player starts thinking that he has to do extra. And in that process, the desperation can creep in, or a failure can seem 10 times more pressure to perform than a decent innings of playing a situation. So I think, it's something which needs to be looked at, and the management needs to be wary of this fact, that the emotional balance of the players, the emotional quotient, how you're going to manage it, how you're going to handle it, rather than putting too much pressure from their side. Their primary role is to ease off that pressure in the dressing room.
Very often we tend to lose sight. Nitish Kumar Reddy is only 22 years of age, and therefore important for a younger captain in Shubman Gill and Gautam Gambhir and the others around to sort of rally around him, right? I mean, you would have done that as captain with some young players, I'm sure, in your time as India captain.
Yeah, I think, firstly, to talk about Nitish Kumar Reddy, I think, what Zach Bhai said, giving him that freedom, when he play those matches, I think it's really important from players' point of view. When you see the team management is backing you, giving you that freedom, you can actually go out there and play your natural game. You see his basically domestic records as well. He hasn't played many matches, his records. So I think he needs that confidence from the team management point of view.
Yeah.
Basically, he's coming replacing Hardik Pandya. Yes, Hardik is not in the team, but he's basically playing that role. What role Hardik is going to play in ODI, going forward in the World Cup, basically you have to give Nitish Kumar the same chance, same opportunity, and back him. When the captain and the coach tells him, go out there and just back yourself, whatever you want to do, you know your game really well, we are supporting you. That's the most important thing from players' point of view. One incident, one I would like to mention, Rishabh Pant in 2021 Australia series. When I took over the captainship for the remaining 3 test matches, Saha played the first test match in Adelaide, and we wanted Rishabh to get into the team. From my point of view and the team management point of view, it was important that if he plays, we give him that security. As a player, that's very important. We told him, you're going to play next 3 test matches. We just want you to play your natural game, go out there and express yourself. And what he did in that Australia series, we all saw that. So as a player, I think it's really important that if team management is backing you, the player will do everything and anything for the team.
There's another player that found a great captain to back him, and I'm talking about Ravindra Jadeja, who found a mentor, a guide, a great captain in MS Dhoni at the start of his career. I remember he had a poor T20 World Cup in England, and then he went on to become one of India's finest all-format players, Jadeja. But he's going through a bit of a lean phase in his career, and we've got a question on hashtag #AskCricbuzz Live about Sir Ravindra Jadeja. Here it is. 1 wicket in the last 5 ODIs. This one's from Total Luna. Last ODI half century was 5 years ago. Last ODI half century at home was in 2013. Missed 2 run-outs in the second ODI. That were unthinkable in his prime. What does the future look like for Jadeja? Is Aksar a better choice in ODIs?
Well, if you look at it, how over the last few years, every time Jadeja was rested, Aksar was actually filling in his shoes. He's been very consistent, and in fact, these two guys are pushing each other now. So Jadeja is someone who started and set that bar very high for someone like Aksar
Yeah.
to really push him in that pace, and that's just a good sign of a good team. So when the team is doing well, the guys are pushing each other,
Yeah.
and that keeps the other guy going at the top. Whoever is being part of the playing 11. So here's the case. I think Aksar is rested for this series, but I think he's going to be someone who is definitely going to push Ravindra Jadeja. So it's up to Ravindra Jadeja right now to be aware of that and just keep focusing. You're always one innings away from good form.
Yeah.
So I think how the 50-over dynamics also have evolved.
Yeah.
That middle phase is so crucial. So you can't be just a containing bowler. Everyone looks at that middle phase as can a bowler turn things around for your team, not just doing the containing job, but also to be the aggressive bowler to take wickets, which really helps the team set the game for the back end. And so I think Ravindra Jadeja really needs to focus on that aspect of his game as well in this particular phase.
Something's changed after that 2023 World Cup, and numbers do tell you the story. And these are startling numbers for someone who has the kind of skill that Jadeja has. Take a look at that. The bowling strike rate is a very different story. The economy is much higher as well. The bowling average is from 29, it's moved up to 42. I believe you have an observation on how a bowler or a player needs to evolve when the format evolves as well.
See, there's no doubt about Jadeja's quality. He's been fantastic. All over. I mean, every format. The ODI format, the white ball especially, is you got to have different kind of variations. What I have seen over Jadeja's thing, he bowls with a similar pace that can become slightly predictable in ODI format. One extra filter up, it becomes really easy, especially when you are playing in India. Not much of ton for the spinners, so there's not much of help for the spinner. So if a guy who's bowling with the same speed can become really easy for the batter, who can take him on. With Akshar, he has that variation with his pace. He can change his pace really well. He can use his crease angle really well, bowl wide of the crease, center of the crease, and also closer to the stump. He can bowl wider to the right hander. He can also bowl to the lefty. So I think Akshar has that ability to bowl in different situation, and also he can vary the pace really well. So I feel there's a good competition. I'm sure Jadeja understands. He knows his game really well. He knows what is happening rather than we talking about him. Who should be the right guy. But I think it's a good headache to have.
Yeah,
sure. Akshar, whenever he got an opportunity, he has done really well in place of Jadeja. So I'm sure Jadeja would like to do really well, especially with his bowling.
Yeah.
Because that middle phase when spinner bowls, that is very crucial. When as a team, you have a spinner who can contain that role, so that your other bowlers can rotate really well, especially the fast bowlers.
You make a point on the speed and the lack of variations. Now, the lay cricket viewer who perhaps doesn't look at the sport very academically, doesn't really go deep into the theory of the sport, he or she might say, why is it so difficult to bring about variations? At 37, is it possible for him to add a bit of loop and give it a bit of air?
It is possible, yes, but what I know about Jadeja, he like to basically back his game. His strengths are basically the accuracy, bowling stump to stump, and if batsmen make a mistake, there's a chance of getting him out LBW or bowled.
Yeah.
That's been his strength. But you got to evolve with the game, how the game is going on, which country you are playing. If you're playing outside India, the situation, the conditions can be different. But India, if there's a turner, Jadeja is a lethal bowler. But if there's not much of help on the wicket, I feel he'll have to adjust it. He'll have to probably come up with a different plan, probably use the angle better, and then try and use the conditions better in that fashion.
Right, India will be bowling first. Shubman Gill won the toss. India chose to chase, and therefore the Indian bowlers will have to really step up to ensure that India keep their record against New Zealand intact. Remember, the Kiwis have never won an ODI series in India since 1988. The big man in India's way, the big thorn really in India's way, is Daryl Mitchell, centurion from that last game. They just couldn't get him out, Zach, and our fans, our viewers are looking at you for a bowling plan against Daryl Mitchell.
Well, I think, when someone is in form, just generally, like, at this level, when you are scoring big runs, usually you have the game which caters to you putting bowlers under pressure. So which is having shots on the offside, on the leg side. You've seen with Mitchell, he's been using his feet, using his sweep shot to good effect, and understanding each bowler and having a plan. So I think what's important when you are in that kind of a form for a bowler, if you have to bowl against that kind of a batter, then it's trying to understand the pattern. You've seen that when Kuldeep has come in the previous game and he was taking the attack to him, he used his feet first. But then after that, he was just being on the back foot or playing the sweep shot. That was his plan. That was his plan, to put Kuldeep in that defensive mindset and then working the game from there. So it's the pattern which you need to understand, that why a particular batter has played a certain shot and then what is he going to follow. So if you are being proactive as a bowler, then you can definitely be a step or two ahead of the batter to fox him or put him in trouble. And that's something, which each individual need to figure out within his strength. So you as a bowler, if say as a left armer, my strength is to bring the ball back in, get the batter out, leg before wicket, bowl. Sometimes, or more often than not, with the help of data and all that, the batters are also prepared for that. They're expecting that, so they have that much extra fraction of second to be playing or countering that particular delivery. Then as a bowler, at times, you just have to start with the out fingers to fox him, because his intention is always to play those deliveries, because he's expecting the ball to come back in, and that can result in a outside edge on a good day. But that's just a feel, right? Like, you can have all these plans, but when to execute it, why to execute it, you just got to be open in terms of reading the game and being ready to be executing what you're thinking. I think that's how the game goes.
Maybe that India were pushed in that second ODI will perhaps help them raise their game a little bit. Now, Joy Bhattacharya mentioned a very interesting stat the other day during the second ODI. In the top 25 ODI averages in history, 5 of India's top 6 feature on that list. Only 2 Kiwis on that list. One of them is Daryl Mitchell, just one below Virat Kohli. His average, Daryl Mitchell's average in the last 6 ODIs is a mind-boggling 170, Ajinkya. Zach gave us the bowler's perspective. Maybe you can give us a captain's perspective. If you were the captain with the same bowling resources, what would you do?
Probably, firstly, I'll talk about him. Why is he so averaging so high? I think it's just his preparation. I've seen him when he was with CSK for 2 years. Hours and hours he used to bat against spinners, only with the spinners, and try and play those sweeps and reverse sweeps. Stepping down and hitting straight down the ground. So I think it's why is he doing well? The reason is his preparation. He prepared himself really well. Nowadays, foreign players come here and play IPL, so they know the conditions really well in India. About him, I feel it's all about bowler's mindset should be to know how can you get him out first 10-15 balls. Think about that. Even if he looks to play a different shot, a big shot, that's okay. But your mindset should be to pick up wickets. But as he rightly said, sometimes a batter comes really prepared well. A guy who's especially a spinner, he knows if Kuldeep is going to bowl ball which come into him, probably try a different thing. Just surprise him with a different ball. I think that's slightly different field setting. Don't whatever his boundary options are, just cut down those boundary options. Get some players inside the ring, and then others you can just push it back. So I think just placing around different fielders, different angles to him. I think this game is all about the angles. So if the bowlers can use the angle well, when Mitchell is batting, that is really important. But I think first 10-15 balls, how can you get him out? That should be the important factor.
Since you mentioned angles, there's one more man that does gravity-defying stunts, finds different angles, especially when he's on the field, although he'll be batting first. Scored a cameo as well in that last game. Glenn Phillips, he's quite a box office cricketer, isn't he? Glenn Phillips, and is he, for you guys, perhaps the best fielder in the world? I mean, you've played with Yuvraj and KF, but this generation, Glenn Phillips perhaps right up there?
Yeah, he's right up there. There is no doubt about it, isn't it? The way he brings in that energy in the field. pretty much goes for everything and anything, which is which is close to him. You've seen the acrobatic efforts which he's been making on the field, and especially you've seen in the point region. That's such a crucial point, gully region. The ball, you have less time to see the ball. It's pretty much coming at a 90 degrees. Ajinkya will be able to explain you much better than me because he always used to field in gully position. But that gives you less time, and for the anticipation, you need hours and hours of work to perfect that. So I think when you're talking about this kind of a fielder, you've often spoken about Jaunty Road, who changed the whole way fielding was approached in that era. Glenn Phillips right now is also one of those fielders who are bringing in that kind of energy to change the course of the game.
Can you become a fielder like this? I mean, can you work on this and acquire a skill like this, or do you just have to be a born Glenn Phillips or a born Jaunty Rhodes?
I think it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of being natural, and also you have to work really hard on your skill sets as well. Now, I would like to mention one name. I've seen Shreyas Iyer improving his fielding drastically.
Wow.
Seen him in the younger days when he came into Mumbai team. We played a lot of cricket together, but the way he has improved his fielding, you see runouts which he have taken. First ODI as well. Decades even before that, his overall ground fielding, catching, throwing is improved. So I think as a fielder, if you're a natural fielder, still you have to work really hard, to get better. And if you take catches like Glenn Phillips, probably you are 80, 90 plus already in the batting. Because if you take catches like flying catches, a batsman gets out, you save those runs for your team. So I think hard work is really important. So that's why I said Shreyas Iyer. I've seen him grow as a fielder massively.
Let's talk about the psyche of fielding. I mean, are there players that, in a sense, tell you when they're during fielding practice, they do give you the impression that they just love fielding? You have to have that passion or love for fielding, right, for it to happen so well.
Fielding is all about enjoyment. It's all about the attitude. When you're fielding, when you're doing those practice sessions with the team, it's all about the attitude. Doesn't matter if you do it for 15, 20 minutes or half an hour, whatever. But I think as long as you're enjoying, your attitude is right, your anticipation is correct. That's what matters when you're practicing. So I think it's all about, as I said, that's what I have experienced, the attitude and the anticipation, and most importantly, enjoyment factor when you're fielding.
Yep.
That's really important.
Arshdeep Singh will certainly enjoy the opportunity of being in the India 11. Just the one change. Out goes Prasidh Krishna. In comes Arshdeep Singh for a little bit of variety and some more balance. Harshit Rana, of course, will bat at 8. He seems to enjoy the trust of the think tank as well. Kuldeep Yadav had a poor game, but he's always a force to reckon with. And Mohammad Siraj, India's premier strike bowler. New Zealand have gone in unchanged. And why would they? In that last game, they brought in Lennox, who bowled really well, was miserly, and maybe India have seen enough of him to perhaps go after him in this game. So New Zealand have gone in unchanged, but mind you, New Zealand have never won an ODI series in India. And this is their record. Remember, they've won 9 out of a total 41 ODIs they've played so far. Emotionally, India would start favourites, having won the toss as well. That's also an advantage. But from the two of you, one key matchup that could decide the fate of this game.
Well, I think how you set the tone is so important. Like, when you're talking about the decider, and these numbers which you put, I was just thinking, it's just amazing, isn't it? Like, if two teams playing right now, then they must not be aware of the history which we are talking about right now here, unless it's been told that the importance of the game.
Yeah.
So this decider suddenly, puts in a completely different light that how much, what's at stake right now for this game, for India. They have such a unbelievable record of not really losing a series in New Zealand at home. And for New Zealand, it's such a big thing for them to achieve if they're able to win this game. And for that, you got to start well. So I think, someone like Devon Conway is going to have that kind of a responsibility when you're looking at his free-flowing nature of batting.
Yeah.
If he gets going, I think, that's going to be that matchup which is going to be so crucial from this game, because India has won the toss. you think that okay, that the pitch gets better in the second innings. So so we've done one important thing, but the second important thing is to restrict New Zealand to a decent total, which can make things easier for them. And from that point of view, I think Devon Conway is going to be holding that key for New Zealand.
For you, match up?
I think similar. What he said. I completely agree about the start, how you start. From Indian point of view, starting off well, taking wickets, 2 or 3 wickets in the first 10 overs. From New Zealand point of view, if the batsmen they get the good start, I think creating the starts into a big one. Middle over, I feel the middle over will be really important. Capitalizing on the spinners when our spinners bowl. So I think New Zealand batters will look to do that. But how they start, both the teams will be important.
Could be a slightly anxious Sunday for India fans. Remember, not too long ago, the Kiwis breached India's red ball fortress. That was a painful series, which we're all trying to forget very quickly. But here's a soothing balm for you. India have never lost an ODI at the Holkar Stadium in Indore. That's 7 out of 7. Maybe number 8 is loading. India have won the toss and India are bowling first. That's all the trivia I had. But for better trivia, who's the man we go to? Mr. Bhattacharya. Here's his question. Here's Joy Factor for today. This cricketer was the most economical bowler for his team in an IPL final. Though he's primarily a bowler, he holds an Indian test batting record and has recorded a double century stand with Virat Kohli. Name him. I'm assuming you guys have no idea. Ajinkya?
We'll figure.
We will figure. Google it, AI it, do whatever. Send in your entries. Make sure you tag Joy and Cricbuzz, and we'll give you the answer and the winner's name at the end of our coverage. Batting paradise, gentlemen. Predictions.
Yeah, smallish ground. I think it's a decent batting wicket. I'll say 310.
321.
301 ka Shubhagra. 301. Let's go with that. Enjoy the game and make sure you join us on Cricbuzz Combox after 15 overs. Bye-bye.